We're going to start from verse 99. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم وتركنا بعضهم يومئذ يموج في بعض ونفخ في الصور فجمعناهم جمعا وعرضنا جهنم يومئذ للكافرين عرضا الذين كانت أعينهم في غطاء عن ذكري وكانوا لا يستطيعون سمعا أفحسب الذين كفروا أن يتخذوا عبادي من دوني أولياء إنا أعتدنا جهنم للكافرين نزلا قل هل ننبئكم بالأخسرين أعمالا الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا أولئك الذين كفروا بآيات ربهم ولقائه فحبطت أعمالهم فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا ذلك جزاؤهم جهنم بما كفروا واتخذوا آياتي ورسلي هزوا إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا قل إنما أنا بشر مثلكم يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا.
On that day we shall let them surge against each other like waves, and then the trumpet will be blown, and we shall gather them all together. We shall show hell to the disbelievers, those whose eyes were blind to my signs, those who were unable to hear. Did they think they could take my servants as masters instead of me? We have prepared hell as the disbelievers' resting place. Say, Prophet, shall we tell you who has the most to lose by their actions, whose efforts in this world are misguided, even when they think they are doing good work? It is those who disbelieve in their Lord's messages and deny that they will meet Him. Their deeds come to nothing. On the day of resurrection, we shall give them no weight. The recompense for having disbelieved and made fun of my messages and my messengers will be hell. But those who believe and do good deeds will be given the gardens of paradise. There they will remain, never wishing to leave. Say, Prophet, if the whole ocean were ink for writing the words of my Lord, it would run dry before those words were exhausted, even if we were to add another ocean to it. Say, I'm only a human being like you, to whom it has been revealed that your God is one. Anyone who fears to meet his Lord should do good deeds and give no one a share in the worship due to his Lord.
Jazakallah khair. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Here, Al-Quran, after finishing the story of Dhul Qarnayn and the great dam or wall that he built, here he talks, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about وَتَرَكْنَا بَعْضَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَمُوجُ فِي بَعْضٍ. One of the most amazing things about the Quran, how he moves you from the past to the future in a second. talk about very deep in the history about the story of Dhul Qarnayn, and now he talk about the future. And that's very smooth transition. Very smooth. وَتَرَكْنَا بَعْضَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَمُوجُ فِي بَعْضٍ. When we will leave them that day surging over each other. Them referring to who? وَتَرَكْنَا بَعْضَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَمُوجُ. بَعْضَهُم. Mean بَعْضَهُم. Who's them? What do you guys think? Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. So in the day of judgment, Ya'juj wa يومئذ, that day, referring to the day of judgment. Not the exact day of judgment. What do you guys think? The day when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decide for that wall or the dam to collapse. That day when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decide that this dam or this wall will collapse, at that day you will see them surging and coming out. They are above each other because a huge number of them. That's one of the interpretation of the verse, and that's something Al-Imām Ibn Kathir rahimahullah ta'ala said. He said, it is يَوْمَ يُدَكُّ السُّورُ وَتَخْرُجُونَ يَمُوجُونَ فِي الْخَلَاءِ. You will see them over each other's and over the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Ya'juj wa Ma'juj, when they come out, these two nations, when they come out, they will occupy the world. There is a hadith and in Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam describing how the Medina will look like. Medina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be empty. That Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam masjid will be completely abandoned, even though the fruit of Medina and the gardens are basically everything is perfect. You just reach out to the fruits and get it from the tree. Basically everything make you stay, but no one in Medina. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, even the wolves and the dogs and the wild animal will go inside Masjid Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and will urinate on the mimbar and urinate in the masjid, and nobody there to clean it or nobody there to stop them. That's how abandoned the Masjid Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is going to be. Which is something strange. Where are people? That's the holy site. That's right. Where people are hiding in the mountains because of Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. Nobody can face them. We were able, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told us that there is fights and wars and we will win some of these fights and we'll push back kind of against the false Messiah, Ad-Dajjal and Atba'u. But when it comes to Ya'juj wa Ma'juj, there is no one can challenge them. They wiped everyone out. And people will be hiding in the caves until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself sent to them type of insects that will enter their ears and it will kill them. And there will be millions and millions of them on the face of the earth that they will make the earth stink. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send birds to take their bodies away and will wash the earth from their filth after that. And that's when the Muslim will come out of the caves and with Isa alayhi salam, Jesus alayhi salam, and will live with them 7 years, never matched. These 7 years will be no shirk in the face of the earth. There is not a single person worship other than Allah. All people worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why al-ard tu'ti barakatiha. The earth will be blessed, because what take the blessings away from the earth is the sins of the human beings, is the shirk, of the disbelief. And when people basically live with pure tawheed, they will live for a very long time like that until the cycle starts again where human, because shaitan is still there, start deceiving people and going back again to the same old days. Anyway, so that's one of the interpretation of the verse. Also another interpretation that they, in the day of judgment, Ya'juj wa Ma'juj comes. But we know that the day of judgment will start after the appearance of Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. So how can you put the order? يومئذ يعني يوم القيامة بعضهم يعني بعض هؤلاء من يأجوج ومأجوج. How can you put the order? Ulama said it doesn't make, it's okay. Why? Because the day of judgment, it doesn't start, it starts with the major signs. So basically the beginning of the day of judgment starts by the major signs. And one of the major signs is Ya'juj wa Ma'juj. And these major signs are one after another very quickly. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said it's like when you have a beads and you cut it, or a necklace and there are pearls in it, and you cut it. What happened to the beads? Start falling one after another quickly. So that's how they come one after another very fast. Some said no. This verse actually is speaking about the day of judgment itself. And بعضهم يومئذ يموج في بعض, they basically surging over each other's, yani coming out from their graves to the day of judgment and walking into the land of gathering where people will be judged. You will see nations upon nations, generations upon generations. They are all walking together to the place where they will be judged. So that's basically another opinion in regard to what this means. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started the surah, my brothers and sisters, warning us from the fitan of this dunya, telling us the reality of this earth. إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا مَا عَلَى الْأَرْضِ زِينَةً لَهَا لِنَبْلُوَهُمْ أَيُّهُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. In the first beginning, we made this earth adornment, whatever on the top of in this earth, adornment for it, and to test and to put you in a test to see who will do the best of deeds. So after all these verses in the Quran, after all these stories in the Quran, after all these fitan tests, wealth, power, knowledge, and religion, in your children, in the power that Allah give you, the followers, okay, comes now the outcome. All these tests, in the end of the day, will comes to determine how you will be in the akhirah. In the akhirah, when Allah brings you to judge you and to see your own record with your own eyes. طيب. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will gather the first and the end, the beginning and the end, the first and the last, the human and the jinn. That's why one of the names of the Day of Qiyamah is Yawmul Jam'a, the day of gathering. قال العلماء لأن الله يجمع الأولين والآخرين. You will be gathered with the people of Adam and the people of the end of the days. And I don't know how human will look like in the end of the days. You're going to see them. You don't know how the humanity looked like in the beginning, the caveman and all this kind of talk. You will see how they look like. Allah gathered the beginning and the end, the first and the last together. Also Allah gathered يوم الجمع يجمع الله الإنس والجن لأول مرة يرى بعضهم بعض. First time ever, you will see the jinn and basically walking next to you, because they are invisible for us. That's what Allah gather us. Gather Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the angels and the humans and the jinn together. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gather all of them. فَجَمَعْنَاهُمْ جَمْعًا. We gather them all together. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Waqi'ah, قل إن الأولين والآخرين لمجموعون إلى ميقات يوم معلوم. Verse 50. The beginning and the end gathered in a day or an appointed time. وحشرناهم فلم نغادر منهم أحدا. We gathered them and no one was left. وكذلك أوحينا إليك قرآنا عربيا لتنذر أم القرى ومن حولها. We sent to you, Muhammad, a book in a pure Arabic language, so you warn al-Qura, Mecca and the city around it. وتنذر يوم الجمع لا ريب فيه. Warning them about the day of gathering, no doubt about it. فريق في الجنة وفريق في السعير. A group going to hellfire and a group going to paradise. This is in Surah Al-Shura verse 7. So, وَعَرَضْنَا جَهَنَّمَ يَوْمَئِذٍ لِلْكَافِرِينَ عَرْضًا. We basically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us here, and we will present hell that day to the disbelievers on display. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make them see the hellfire. He will expose them to the hellfire. And the reason for that, it is to make them basically in more painful state. Yani, now you see where you're going. That's even worse than you just experience where you're going. And I tell you, that's where you're going to go. And you see how bad it is. Before even reaching that place, you're already suffering. That's right. Yani, that's even more suffering for them. That they see it in the Day of Judgment. And the Day of Judgment is not like 10 minutes. It's 50,000 years. So in 50,000 years, they are so terrified by what they're seeing. The whole entire Day of Judgment, because the first people judge are the believers. But the disbeliever, the end. And they will be seeing the hellfire and seeing all the thing inside it to terrify them. And Allah knows even how much they see from it. And that's very, that's a punishment in itself. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, why would He let them see it before they enter it? لأنهم يا أخواني ما رأوها في الدنيا بأعين قلوبهم. Because they did not see the hellfire with the eyes of their hearts while they are alive in this dunya. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them see it now. الذين كانت أعينهم في غطاء عن ذكري. That their eyes was, he said blind, but the Quran said covered. صح? The Quran said covered. Because if you're blind, you will not be held accountable. But covered, that means you purposely blocked your eyes from seeing the truth. You intentionally block your eyes from knowing about the hereafter, the hellfire. And unfortunately, that's what it is. You know that this is haram and lead you to hellfire, but you still do it. And you act like, I didn't know about it. You act as if it's not that important. You know, you wake up for Fajr, now Salat time, cover yourself with your cover and go back to bed to sleep more. Intentionally, you close your eyes. You know that's haram. You need to, you know what, close your eyes and just go, just forget about it. And they don't, وَلَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ سَمْعًا. They cannot hear something that it will benefit them. And المراد هنا بصر الانتفاع وسماع الانتفاع. Not because they are literally, they can hear. No, they hear, but they cannot hear the truth. They cannot hear the message. And one of the things that if you notice, Al-Quran said, الَّذِينَ كَانَتْ أَعْيُنُهُمْ إيش في غطاء. So the cover, سؤال, the cover comes on you or in you? On you. But the Quran said in their eyes cover. He didn't say on their eyes cover. He said in their eyes. قال العلماء مبالغة في بيان شدة إعراضهم عن الحق وتغطيتهم لأعينهم عنه. It shows you that the cover, they stick it inside their eyes to make sure that they don't see at all. يعني their attachment of the dunya have made them يعني completely block their eyes from seeing the truth. وَلَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْإِنسِ وَالْجِنِّ. We've created to the hellfire many human beings and many jinn. لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا. They have, in Surah Al-A'raf, verse 179, they have hearts, but they don't, or mind, that they don't use to comprehend things. And أعين, they have eyes, لا يبصرون بها. They don't see the truth. وَلَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا. They have آذان, ears, but they cannot hear the truth. أُولَٰئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ. They are like cattle, indeed they are worse than cattle. Then Allah say it in the end, explain why. Because al-heedless. Heedless, it means he has the ear, he has the eyes, but he insists not to use them as a tool of success and guidance. وجعلنا لهم سمعا وأبصارا وأفئدة فما أغنى عنهم سمعهم ولا أبصارهم ولا أفئدتهم من شيء إذ كانوا يجحدون بآيات الله وحاق بهم ما كانوا به يستهزئون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Ahqaf verse 26 that their ear, their eyes, how intellect they are, their mind did not benefit them anything. وذلك Shaykh Islam rahimahullah talk about the philosophers. قال أوتوا ذكاء وما أوتوا زكاة. They are maybe intelligent, but they are corrupt. They're corrupt from inside. فإنها لا تعمى الأبصار. It's not about your eyes blind or not, you can see. ولكن تعمى القلوب التي في الصدور. In Surah Al-Hajj, Allah said in Surah Al-Hajj verse 46, it's not your eyes that's blind, it's your heart is blind. Even we say back in many Muslim countries, يقولون ايش؟ العمى مو بعمى البصر بل عمى القلب. The blindness is not to be able to see. It's basically when you cannot feel. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying here that He will gather everyone. Ibn Ashur said something I thought it's very interesting. قال, Allah gave us example of a king, just a king, Dhul Qarnayn, who was able to gather these huge nations and gather all of them in one place, block them behind the wall. حشرهم كلهم في مكان واحد. He gathered them in one place and He locked them in. So what do you think of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He's also capable of gathering everyone in one place as well. And He will keep them in that one place. أفحسب الذين كفروا أن يتخذوا عبادي من دوني أولياء. Then do those who disbelieve think that they can make my servants instead of me as allies? I don't know about this translation. He said, we have prepared hell for the disbelievers as lodging. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said here to the disbeliever, you think that you can take one of the righteous people or the saint or the good Muslims, awliya, yani supporters and ally for you, that they will benefit you by worshipping them, yani worshipping an idol, just because this idol represents a righteous person, you think that will benefit you in the Day of Judgment? That will make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive that shirk? You think because just you turn yourself to an angel or to a prophet and you pray to that prophet, you pray to that saint, you pray to that righteous person, you think that will benefit you? You think that going to Jesus and pray to Jesus will benefit you just because Jesus is righteous? Everyone you worship beside Allah, no matter how that thing is very righteous and very honored by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, will not help you. Yani Jesus will not say, since you worship me, let me save you. Muhammad will not say, since you worship me, let me save you. No, that's not how it works. As a matter of fact, the first one to free themselves from those followers. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that because of that, Allah will let them go to hellfire. Inna a'tadna jahannam lil kafirin nuzula. Allah said that hellfire is for those kafirin. And Allah many times said that those righteous ones that the people pray to and they worship beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will not benefit them. وَمَا نَعْبُدُهُمْ إِلَّا لِيُقَرِّبُونَ إِلَى اللَّهِ زُلْفَى. We only worship them because they bring us closer to Allah. A lot of people think that the people of Quraysh used to worship idols, that they think they are gods beside Allah. No, the people of Quraysh, we have to understand that. The people of Quraysh believed that the souls of those righteous people are basically present around these idols, present around these shrines. So when they pray, these souls, those people who died there and they basically made an idol to represent them, their souls somewhere there somehow will be able to hear their dua, hear their call, and they will intercede for them in front of Allah. That's what Abu Jahl, that's what Abu Lahab, that's what the people of Mecca used to believe. That's why I could not understand, nor I could not comprehend at all when I hear some Muslim today saying that, oh, if you pray to the Prophet and you believe that the Prophet will intercede for you in front of Allah, it's not shirk. What's the difference between this and what the people of Mecca used to do? Oh, if you don't believe and he is the one who's really, he's your door to Allah. No, there is no door to Allah, no window to Allah. It is you and Allah, straightforward. I told you this story or not, before or not, I'm not sure. When I was in high school, I was in Egypt. So I get to pray in one of, not pray, I just go to check. I don't believe it's allowed to pray there. But I went to check out one of these masajid that has shrines. And this very famous place called Sayyid al-Badawi. So when I was there, I asked, I don't know how this started, because also I was very young at that time, like looking for anybody to debate, I guess, at that time. Anyway, so somehow I got with this guy and he said, yeah, Habibi, he is your way to Allah. He said, if you go to the president, would you just go to the president like that? Or you have to find a minister or one like the mufti, someone to open the door for you to go to the president or to the king? I said, Yani ajib. You know, if you say Allah is similar to one of these kings and president, that's in itself yani bad thing. But to make Allah similar to the unjust rulers, that's even worse, isn't it? Yani, would you need wasta? Would you need a connection? We need a middleman to meet Umar ibn al-Khattab? No. Aminta fanimta adalta fa'aminta fanimta ya Umar. When he came all the way from Persia, where is Umar? They said Umar is there. He went and he looked and he saw Umar al-Khattab sleeping under a tree. No guard, nothing. So that Persian person said, Adalta, you're a just ruler. فأمنت, that's why you feel safe. فنمت, said sleeping. Ya Umar. That's how Ali doesn't, you need a middleman to let you meet Ali ibn Abi Talib or Uthman or any one of these just rulers? No, you don't. You straight go to the person. That's the fair just ruler. So how can you say Allah need a middle person for you to take you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? وَيَقُولُونَ هَؤُلَاءِ شُفَعَاؤُنَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. Same logic in Surah Yunus. They say they are intercessor for us. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَيَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ مَا لَا يَنْفَعُهُم. Allah called this ibadah, worshipping other than Allah. وَيَقُولُونَ هَؤُلَاءِ شُفَعَاؤُنَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ قُلْ أَتُنَبِّئُونَ اللَّهِ بِمَا لَا يَعْلَمُ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَلَا فِي الْأَرْضِ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى عَمَّا يُشْرِكُونَ. He is distant from this shirk. For someone to say that this is not shirk, this is just, bid'ah, this is just not, that person need to reevaluate their understanding of Tawheed. اتبعوا ما أنزل إليكم من ربكم ولا تتبعوا من دونه أولياء ومن يضلل الله فما له من ولي. You will never find anyone to support you in the day of judgment. أن تبسل نفس بما كسبت ليس لها من دون الله من ولي. ليس لها من دون الله ولي in Surah Al-An'am. You will not have wali in the day of judgment. No wali in the day of judgment will be able to help you, will be able to save you. That someone that you worship beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As long as you have committed shirk, there is no one will extend help to you. وَيَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ مَا لَا يَنْفَعُهُمْ وَلَا يَضُرُّهُمْ وَكَانَ الْكَافِرُ عَلَى رَبِّهِ ظَهِيرًا. Anyway, there is many verses in that line. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned something interesting. He said, you want to know about al-akhsarina a'mala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Say, Muhammad, shall we inform you of the greatest losers as to their deeds? Who are the greatest losers at their deeds? The one who makes a lot of effort, seeking reward for it, but instead he will not only waste it, it's not only going to be wasted, it's going to be sin. Yani, one thing to put an effort and you get zero. But you put an effort and you get minus, that's the worst. That's right? To get sin for it, that's the worst thing. You think you're pleasing Allah and you're displeasing Allah. You think takes you to Jannah and that takes you exactly to hellfire. You think it will have value for you and it has no value. وَقَدِمْنَا إِلَى مَا عَمِلُوا مِنْ عَمَلٍ. We look at all their deeds that they have done, فَجَعَلْنَاهُ هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. It's like a dust. كَذَلِكَ يُرِيهِمُ اللَّهُ أَعْمَالَهُمْ حَسَرَاتٍ عَلَيْهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. They see these deeds in front of them, but they regret it because they thought that will save them. But it didn't. In Surah Al-Baqarah 167. Al-ulama said this verse may be referring to the Jews and the Christians who worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala against the teaching of their prophets. So if there is a Jew who did not follow the teaching of Musa, or a Christian who didn't follow the teaching of Jesus alayhi salam, they are the one who will be the losers in the Day of Judgment. They do a lot of work, but against that Allah told them to do. Or Al-Haruriyah, and any innovators in Islam who put so much effort, but all the effort are wrong. These people, how can you imagine today, best example, these ISIL and Daesh and all these groups who kill themselves, commit suicide for the sake of Allah. What do you want? Ultimate sacrifice. What do you want more than that? Thinking that they're doing something good. But indeed, they are far away from being good. So, this is so dangerous. This verse is terrifying the person. That's why you stick to the sunnah, you stick to the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, because the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Man ahdatha fi amrina hada ma laysa min fahuwa rad." If you invented something in religion not from it, it's rad. And the khutbah al-Jumu'ah, mainly or many times you hear the Imam saying, خير الهدي هدي محمد وشر الأمور وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة. What's that ضلالة means? Every innovation is misguidance. Misguidance, why? Because what you do, you hope that this will guide you to Jannah. But the innovation in religion misguide you. It will not take you to Jannah. It take you to hellfire. That's why he said, وَكُلُّ ضَلَالَةٍ فِي النَّارِ. Every misguidance leads to hellfire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here said that they have disbelieved in meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rejected His signs, the signs that came to them in the dunya. The signs which is the verses of the Quran, the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, also the physical signs that they see. They see clear evidence that Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth, He's the only one worthy of worship. And habitat a'maluhum. Their deeds habit. Anybody knows what habita means? What's habita? That they are the one who disbelieve in verses, and we will not assign to them on the day of resurrection any importance. Habitat a'maluhum. Their deeds have become worthless. That's how you translate it. Worthless. Al-hubut, habita, the word habita, it's an interesting word. Habita in Arabic language actually comes from the word al-hubut, when the stomach, the abdominal area of the animal, becomes so big after eating poison food. When they eat poison food and their stomach becomes so big and basically blow it, that we call habitat batnu dabba. Yeah, it became bloated and big. Can you tell me why the Quran used that term to refer to their deeds as worthless? Yeah, you go to buy a sheep and you see, mashallah, it's big tummy, you think it is fat, but it's not. The animal, they eat this poison food, their stomach became big, they think they fill the stomach up with the food, but indeed it doesn't. Is that the same thing will kill them? It didn't fill up their stomach. You think it's worth it, but it's a dead meat. You see, mashallah, this big fat, but it's not. It's just open, it's filled with poison. So that's exactly the example that the Quran gives is unbelievable. That those people, they think that they have something, but indeed they don't. They think that they have got a deed that will reach them to Jannah, but no. And no, that worthless. It has no weight, like what we said in Surah Al-Furqan. لا يقام لهم وزنا. It is because it will never be put in the scale. Why? Because Allah will never accept any deeds from a disbeliever. Because any deed to be accepted by Allah, it has to be done by sincerity and done for the sake of Allah and done with Islam. So that's one opinion. So it will not even be put in the scale in the Day of Judgment. And that's ikhtiyar Shaykh Sabi Taymiyyah rahimahullah. And I personally don't go with this opinion. I go with another opinion, which is also very famous, that the deeds of the kuffar will be weighted in the Day of Judgment. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Surah Al-Mu'minun, in the Surah Al-Mu'minun, وَمَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ, that their skill of good deeds is so light. Because what is the heaviest things in your skill on the Day of Judgment? La ilaha illallah, tawheed. And what is the heaviest thing in the side of your sins? Shirk. So that's why, because of the kufr that they have, their side of kufr is so heavy, while any good deeds, you compare it to the shirk, it is so light. Nothing, has no weight. Comparing to how heavy the shirk is. It's like if your tawheed is strong, no matter how sin you have, it will weigh nothing comparing to the tawheed. It's the opposite. Okay? Also, لا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا. It could be, has nothing to do with weighting the deeds. It means, يعني in the Day of Judgment, لا نقيم لهم قدرا. They have no respect. They have no value. Okay? Ibn al-Anbari said, لا نقيم لهم, we will not make for them a case. إنما يقام عليهم. The case will be made against them, not for them. And wallahu a'lam, they themselves have no weight because they have no value. That's why Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, a man in the Day of Judgment will be big guy, fat and big, سمين عظيم. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. In the Day of Judgment comes, when you put him in the scale, he will not weight even equal to the wing of a mosquito. Then the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, read if you wish, فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا. They have no weight in the Day of Judgment. Hadith al-Bukhari wa Muslim. And here there is an important message for us. Let's not ever be deceived by the look. Don't see the guy from outside, how his beard, how his hijab is, how his look, how, you know what? Don't be deceived by the look. Don't judge a cover from, don't judge a book from its cover. That's right, we say. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَهُمْ تُعْجِبُكَ أَجْسَامُهُم, about the hypocrites. If you see them, you will see, wow, they have good body, mashallah. And if they talk, you listen to them. كأنهم خشب مسندة. فلا تعجبك, this in Surah Al-Munafiqun verse 6. Surah Al-Tawbah, Allah said, فلا تعجبك أموالهم. Ya salam. Don't be deceived by their wealth. ولا أولادهم, and their children. إنما يريد الله ليعذبهم بها في الحياة الدنيا وتزهق أنفسهم وهم كافرون. This wealth, this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give it to them in deceiving them more. فلا يغرنك تقلب الذين كفروا في البلاد متاع قليل ثم مأواهم جهنم وبئس المهاد. Uh, النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم passed by a person. Then he asked the people around him, what do you think of that person? So they said, هو من أشراف الناس, he's from the honorable people. If this person proposed to any family, they will give him their daughters. If he asked for anything, he would never know, it would never be said to him. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam remained silent. Then the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, another man passed by, and that man, like broken kind of man, his clothes not very, it looked very poor. Then the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, what do you think of that man? People said, Ya Rasulullah, if this man proposed to any family, they will never marry him. If this person asked for anything, they will always say no to him. Nobody cared for him. Nobody listened to him. Then the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, قال إن هذا, this man that you basically underestimating, خير من ملء الأرض من مثل هذا. This person will be better than billions and millions of that other person. Like if the first one, you have millions of them, they're not equal to even this man. And this hadith in Bukhari. When the Sahaba laughed at Ibn Mas'ud's feet, the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam immediately told them, this skinny feet that you see, Ibn Mas'ud is very skinny. Kind of Mas'ud, when he stand up and the wind comes, he fall on his back. That's how skinny he was. He can't hold himself stood. So one day, he said, let me climb this palm tree to get you the date. So while climbing, the people saw his tiny, skinny, legs. There is a way they say it in America, but I'm not sure if I can say it. They said like a chicken legs. That's how they say it. Okay? So it's like a skinny legs. Very skinny legs. So the Sahaba laughed at his skin as his legs. Then the Nabi said, these legs are heavier in the day of judgment and the scales than the mountain of Uhud. That's his legs, guys. What do you think his whole entire body will be equal to? That's just his legs. And since the kuffar used to mock, Al-Jahannam basically is their, Allah mocked them in the day of judgment by making them think that they will go to Jannah and they deceived to go to hellfire. And with this, from this also we learn, then those who mock the messengers, those who mock the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they end up in hellfire. And that's one of the quality of the kuffar. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the way the kuffar will be in the day of judgment, immediately give you the other side of the picture, which is how the believer will be. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا. We'll stop here inshallah ta'ala and we will continue next week.